Hello everybody, welcome back to more Resident Evil Village. You are hearing my voice days after I recorded this part, simply because my microphone, the microphone that had worked perfectly through every other part of the playthrough that I have now finished recording, worked absolutely fine until this part where it dropped out and cackled in places for reasons that I don't really understand. So you're going to hear my voice in place of the voice that is mine. That makes no sense. Just go with it, it'll be fine. So, at this point, I decided to look at the treasure map and see what treasure that I had missed out on. Oddly enough, I did pick up the one down at Moreau. I wonder now, looking back at it, if when you drained the water, it pushed it away from where it was. Maybe. I don't know. But with hindsight, that could have been the case, because that treasure chest was not where I found it after that bit of the game. Okay. Crackly voice Lucy tells me that she's looking for something good. But the drawbridge is up, so she can't go back through the castle to find her way to the riverboat house, which at this moment in time, I know the way to go to. It's very strange doing commentary in retrospect, but here we are, because technology, specifically sound technology, if it can find a way to screw me over, it will screw me over. Decided to have a little jump into the pool, swim around with the fishes. Couldn't get inside of the gate. Changed my mind. Went back the way that I came. Totally missed that goat there. Didn't see it. Now I know what it feels like when you're watching videos on YouTube and the people who are playing the game miss things that are really, really obvious, and you end up shouting at the screen going, "It's right there! It's right there! Are you stupid? Why can't you see it? It's right there!" I don't know. Lucy. She's silly. Good luck. Thanks. Heisenberg. Took me a moment to remember his name. Oh god, this bit was creepy. I heard people saying that this game was not atmospheric and not scary, and I'm not entirely sure what game it is that they were playing, because there were bits in this game that legitimately had me on edge. Like, I remember when I was recording it, my neck, like the back of my neck was just so tight and tense. A lot of the time, most of the time, in fact. Oh, that was weird. Burning bodies, it's always attractive. I like getting shouted at by werewolves. Almost as much as I like killing them. Get him, Lucy, get him. Ooh, headshot, nice. Where's it coming from, Lucy? Where's it coming from? You're notoriously great for your spatial awareness. I need to stop with this shit because it's scary. Scary, and I've got no spatial awareness, and it makes me worry. Cackly Lucy has no spatial awareness. Love it. Love calling out my own bullshit. It's great. Oh, I'm being attacked from behind as well. Oh god. Oh dear. Get off me. Right, I need some. Stay back. Always the boomstick. The boomstick will help you win.
still shooting at me?
No idea. There he is.
There you go. Stop that shit. Right, where is my rifle?
Break that box. Sniper rifle ammo, nice.
Okie dokie. So I saw something on
Can't tell if Lucy just did the thing where she gets distracted and just stops talking, or if the audio cut out. What are you doing, Lucy?
yeah, you can, look. That's so cool.
Okay.
Sometimes social media spoils games for you. Sometimes they give you insights.
Rarely, Lucy, rarely do they give you insight. But that was actually a thing that that I saw on Twitter.
I saw a tweet that was just like, did you know you could block and shoot at the same time? And I was like, no, that can't be possible. But it is.
Yes, it is, Lucy. Yes, it is.
I both like and kind of dislike the fact that you can't see.
And that was definitely Lucy getting distracted.
You can't there's not like blood all over the screen anymore like there was in Resident Evil 7 that kind of really gives you a hint as to your health status. I both like that, but as then my health was actually a lot lower than I thought it was without checking. I was just editing
Okay.
where the fuck are you coming from? Okay, this
Definitely distracted again, but she's got an excuse this time. There are a lot of enemies on the screen. This was the first part of the game where they actually threw lots and lots of enemies at me. I know that there was the sort of the opening bit where there was quite a lot of enemies, but it definitely ramped up going into this area, and I think that was the point.
Okay. What was I saying? Can't even remember now. Can't even remember. Oh yeah, I was editing out the first couple of videos for the first couple of parts earlier on this morning, and yeah, first time I noticed that my health was low, like it was really quite low, and I had no indication. Giving me a lot of rifle ammo. Okay. Let's get over the other side as well. I need to just shortcut my rifle for a moment. Alright, that was jumping down.
One thing I've noticed with the sound design of this game, the sound design is absolutely incredible. It's amazing, and it's an observation. It's not necessarily a negative comment on it, but it oscillates between being so quiet and so loud at times. And obviously, when there's combat going on, it is loud. But in particular, when the Lycans are on the screen, it becomes so loud, so loud.
Oh! Okay, I need to jump down from here. Get some movement away from these fools.
Yeah, it can be jarring when you're coming to record commentary for it and having to adjust the levels to make sure that you're not getting drowned out by the combat and the shoutiness of the Lycans, because they do shout a lot. Or howl, I believe should be the appropriate term. But they're great characters. I mean, like enemy types. Really appreciate the different enemy types in this game. Really range from the simple to the much more aggressive and rather befitting the Lycans pack type animals that attack you en masse.
Well, that was a little bit intense there. One criticism of this game already that I've heard is that there is a little bit more focus on action again than Resident Evil 7, which I can see in parts. Obviously there's a lot of spookiness, there's a lot of tension and a lot of creepiness, which is great. It's absolutely brilliant. But when you take that example, that situation there, it's not so much that there is a lot of enemies and you have to fight the enemies. It's more to do with the fact that the game incentivizes combat, so you get rewarded for fighting and killing enemies. Like they drop ammo and health and that sort of thing. So they didn't do that in Resident Evil 7. They went back to not having that happen. But now it is, because it's one of those things, if you're going to put a little bit more action in and a little bit more combat, you have to offset that. Otherwise you get into situations where, I mean, even though there was ammo drops and that sort of thing in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5, where you gear more towards combat but you don't have the necessary ammo drops and the stuff like that to balance it out. I think this game does it well, to be honest. I haven't been overwhelmed by or thinking that, oh, there's far too much combat. I think it's pretty well balanced, to be honest, in my opinion. A lot more than the other games, the older games, where they were more action. Still retains the feeling of survival horror, in my personal opinion. Okay, here we are. We have a pit. It is operating as our save space. Let's pipe bombs. Drop a save. I like how quick that is. Kind of miss the little save room music though, but I do like how quick that is. Okay. Oh. That never happened. Nope. Didn't happen. Totally smooth.
This must be their den.
Yes, indeed. Entering the den, which you can assume means that it's all going to kick off again, because, well, you're walking into their home, so it makes sense. This is future Lucy again, and I will be with you on commentary for the rest of this episode, because the commentary, the in-game live blind commentary from Lucy was just, it crackled in and out far too much. It was I couldn't really justify putting any of it in. Didn't really make sense. To be honest, during this part there was just an awful lot of, oh my god, there's so many of them. Oh my god, it's so dark, I can't see any of them. Which, looking back at the footage now is funny to me because it doesn't actually come out recorded as dark as I was seeing it, because I was playing still kind of in the daytime. And I've said before in a previous part, it is amazing how much the difference between just having that little bit of light in my room and it being completely dark and at night lets things show up on the screen. These games are designed to be quite dark and played in the dark. If you're playing it in daylight, you're going to get a hell of a lot more shadows on your screen than playing it in a dark room, which is great. It's perfect. I would utterly recommend playing these games in a dark room and with the headset on as well, or the volume turned up really, really loud so that you can appreciate the most of the sound design, because yeah, it absolutely adds to the experience, adds to the atmosphere of it. You get so many little noises in the background that you just might not pick up on if you don't have the sound up really loud or wearing a headset, that just, yeah, add to the atmosphere and add to the immersion of the whole thing. I have to admit, I do like the Lycans as an enemy type. Maybe it's because it's in their name, liking the Lycans. But that aside, yeah, I do like them as an enemy type. I like the variety of enemies, as I've mentioned before, and I also like the slightly supernatural elements of them, but how they're kind of explained within the parameters of the lore of the game, which I think at this point in time, Gameplay Lucy isn't aware of. It's hard to tell because at this time when I'm recording this commentary, I've finished playing the game and I've actually finished editing all the rest of the parts of the game as well, so I am much more knowledgeable than Gameplay Lucy at the moment. I see her future. She is in for so much, but no spoilers, no spoilers. But yeah, I like it. I like the whole, werewolves and vampires and zombies. We've got zombies back, which is awesome. But I like it, and they're all explained in their own way within the parameters of the lore of the game. I love that. I love it. A nice exploration of enemy types and giving us something that is a bit different but challenging. They range from, the slow zombies with their little weapons, the slightly more aggressive zombies. There's some zombies later on in the game, no complete spoilers, that are even tougher. The Lycans, who are more, pack horde enemies who are quite vicious and seem to only get more vicious, like a pack of wolves would when there are more of them. They will surround you, they will use sort of tactics and stuff. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And the Lady Dimitrescu and her 3 vampire daughters, and the way that they attack you with sort of vampiric powers and biting you and stuff, but then it sort of ties into the lore that we know because they seem to be infected with the same sort of thing that Marguerite Baker was, like with the insects and the animals. So it really kind of helps to personalize the enemies in a lot of ways, because they all react differently to things. I like that a hell of a lot. I like it a lot more than how long this part went on for. I felt like I was battling these werewolves like non-stop forever. Like they were never ever going to stop. They were always going to just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming for her. Which is great, because you build up all this ammunition over the course of the game. And then the game says, all that ammunition that you have in your inventory, spend it. Spend it now. Spend it by blowing up all these enemies. Love it. It's great fun. Another thing that it took me a long time to notice with this game is kind of how gorgeous a lot of the guns are. There's at least 3 maybe guns that I can think of that have that sort of unique sort of engraving on them that make them look kind of, well, I suppose European. They give them a sort of more ethnic flair, make them look special. Like the grenade launcher has it, one of the shotguns I think has it, and the Magnum has it. They have like this pattern on them that make them look amazing. I really like what they've done with the weapons on here. You've got the standard weapon types, obviously, you know, your handgun, your shotgun, your grenade launcher. It's all pretty standard Resident Evil fare, but some of them are customized and sort of to the area which you like. I don't think that I used the little raccoon trinket again. I think that was still on the older shotgun, which is funny. That was really cute. It was a nice touch. I'd like to get more little things to hang off my weapons, I must admit. Kill the enemies. They're all down by the looks of it. Going in waves and in stages. So you get from one part to the next. Fairly certain at this point. Crackly Lucy was saying, yep, I've got bombs, but I'm going to try and save them because I'm fairly certain we're going to get a big beastie at some point.
And another round of them. Okay, yes, I see what you're doing here, game. I see what you're doing. What have I got that I can use? Don't want to use that if I don't have to. Shortcut that down there. For now, the problem is they're a bit too close to using sniper rifle, but I can probably use this. Ooh. That was too busy. Don't want to use that. I want to save that for a big beastie because I'm assuming that I'm going to get a big beastie.
Apparently Gameplay Lucy was still able to say what I had just predicted that she was going to say.
It's going to be big doggies. It's going to happen.
I like the fact that I'm always on the same wavelength with my past self.
Okay, big guy.
And there we go.
Okay, right, I definitely need to put down a bomb. Right, a bomb. Oh god, get off me! Get off me, thank you.
Oh dear. Well, I think that is actually the last of the commentary. I forgot that was still in there. That was interesting, that was fun. Sometimes I feel like past Lucy just creeps up. Past Gameplay Lucy's just creeping up and going, here, was this what you were talking about? There you go. I have a snippet that was still intact that confirms what you were thinking I said. Save your rambling for a little bit, Lucy. I'll do it for you in game. I love how visceral their hits are. Can give you a little bit of a heads up that it's not a spoiler necessarily for this playthrough as it is. But after I finished the game, I decided that I wanted to go and have another try through it on the hardest difficulty. I was playing this playthrough on standard, normal difficulty. And I jumped straight ahead to the hardest difficulty. There's a really hard difficulty that you unlock when you beat the game. And no word of a lie, even with some unlockables, quite ludicrous. Just your standard wolves were like, yep, I'm going to take about 100 bullets each, and if I hit you, then I am going to eat your insides. Literally eat Ethan's insides, which was fun to see. So this game is a lot of fun. So there will be many more personal playthroughs that I do of it, that mean I can build up my unlockables and my skills and my character, so that when I come to do the really hardcore run again, I'm prepared for it. A very good challenge. I love that with Resident Evil games, that they keep upping the challenge, and they give you a challenge sort of post game that you wanna go through again, and you wanna go through again to perfect it and get better at it and master it. It's all quiet. Ethan finally make his way out of this den. Pick up all the goodies that were dropped on the floor. Get some health. I loved the fact that you could craft stuff in this game. It really helped, and it ended up proving quite useful, which, even though, you know, as I was saying earlier about the incentive of drops when you're fighting enemies, give you quite a lot, like health, ammo back and all that kind of thing, you're still kind of required to craft items in order to survive. So it still gives you that sort of survival element. They're not handing you too much, but at the same time not handing you too little. I think it was really well balanced. Oh. Mr. Knight in this shining armour, giving us some Wolfbane ammunition. I think that Magnum was really pretty. Possibly one of the best looking Magnums that I've seen in Resident Evil. Very nice. Not sure I used it as much in this playthrough as I perhaps would have liked to, but there we go. Smash that unbreakable pot, Ethan. Smash that unbreakable pot. Keep on going down. Rusted scrap. I love the fact that it's easy to break the boxes as well. That they made that sort of shortcut to break the boxes. It's just it's a little quality of life thing that is absolutely brilliant. Really adds to the game. Yeah. Creepy. Sneak through a tight enclosed space and be able to peek out of the holes in it and see the Lycans doing creepy things to corpses that are strung up. Reminds me an awful lot of the Tomb Raider reboot games, which I really need to finish at some point. Oh, the King's orders finally arrived. Withdraw. It's most vexing that we must abandon the Vorda stronghold to these heretics. If I'd had a little more time, be able to turn the tides. Not that I should put on airs. My curiosity ties me to this place. There are a number of ruins in the vicinity, with the locals are very ancient. A ceremony site for giant statues, cave with murals on the wall, giant's chalice. Where did they bring people? Blah blah blah. Very mysterious. Also Heisenberg, I believe. I didn't pick up on that on the first go through. I believe that little journal there gives you a little bit of a hint into Heisenberg's backstory. Which you see much later on. I'm not going to spoil any details, too many details about it at this point, but fits into who he was and how he ended up playing into the events and lives of the village. Down creepy caves, creepy cave corridors. Love it, so atmospheric. So atmospheric and beautiful. Jump down into a pit, which I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Literally, as soon as Ethan's feet touched the floor, the music kicked up.
That's not good.
I think that they were up on that ledge, but I don't tend to look up, so I didn't see him while he was all growly before he jumped down. Here's the big dude. Finally face to face with the big dude, who I initially mistook as being Heisenberg. He's not Heisenberg. His name actually is Urias, I think. He has a name. He's a big dude, and he has minions. He's the one keeping all the Lycans, well, in check, so they're not running amok. They're running around violently, but not necessarily amok. There is plan. They are organized. Big hammer is very much the they have this now. What did it start off with? Did it start off in Resident Evil 4 or was it 5? Because I remember the executioners in Resident Evil 5 who had the big hammer. Then I think that was inspired by the Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, but I think the first time it appeared in Resident Evil was in Resident Evil 5, if I remember correctly. Don't remember there being guys with like big hammers or really big weapons in Resident Evil 4, but I might be mistaken. There's always been a sort of a big executioner type character or enemy type ever since. But this guy's really, really cool. I really love the sort of grizzled old wolf man, leader of the pack, you know. There's a theory that I have about the concept of this big wolf man. That there he is.
Eat shit.
Eat shit. That I had, but I won't go into it here because I don't want to spoil things for a little bit later on in the game. But I wonder if during the concept stages of Resident Evil Village, another person was supposed to be that character. But I won't spoil anything about that. If you know, you may know what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about. But I'm not going to go into too many details and potentially spoil anything. Oh, this area. Look at that. So beautiful. I know it's mold. It's crystallized mold, but wow, it is good looking. And the fact that there were so many shinies to shoot around the place, I adore the shiny shinies. remember when I was going through this bit, I was talking about the pessimistic side of me that was like, yeah, I kind of get that they've put these things in because, you know, you had the spinels and stuff in Resident Evil 4, and they very much designed this game with the gameplay around what they will use in the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's sort of a trial run almost for the Resident Evil 4 remake, which is cynical, but is also, you know, true. You can't hide the fact that it is. I very much said that if Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4 had a baby, it would be this game. You can see the frameworks, the sort of the foundations that have started to be put in place for Resident Evil 4 remake in this game, and I don't mind that, because at least it's not just a complete rip-off. They've made it appropriate to this game and to the region that you're in, rather than just being like, oh yeah, you know, we'll just carbon copy everything. Creepy flashbacks.
What?
You're the real
I didn't
deal,
realise
Nathan.
quite what those flashbacks were the first time through.
Quit
I
hiding,
know what they are
asshole.
now.
I'm not letting you get out of this.
Cool your jets. Just a little bit more, and you're all wrapped up. I'll lend you a hand. So in exchange,
In exchange, what?
first of all, come to me. Put all the flasks in the altar, and I'm sure you'll figure the rest out. See you, Ethan.
God damn it.
Yes, indeed. I love Heisenberg's voice and voice acting in this game. I love how much flair he has. I'm trying to remember now off the top of my head who he voiced in previous games. I know that in this game they've brought a lot of they seem to now have a core group of actors again that come and do the Resident Evil games, and I love that because it reminds me of how they used to do them. I think that he did the voice of Lucas Baker and somebody else, but I'll have to verify that and remember it. But I love what he did with Heisenberg in this game. It's very, very flair, very flamboyant. You know, he speaks as though he thinks he's performing on the stage every time that he talks. I think that's brilliant. Oh yes, he wasn't Lucas Baker. Lucas Baker was played, the guy who played Lucas Baker played Moreau. The guy who did Heisenberg's voice, Neil Newbon, he did Nikolai in the Resident Evil 3 remake as well. Another very, very well acted voice performance. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Capcom really seem to have now got, as I said, this core group of actors, not just voice talent, because they're not just voice talent anymore. You know, they are actors who come back and they're playing different roles than they've played in previous games, as well as the sort of core main group characters that they've been hired to play. A really, really good group of actors. That's why the performances and the voices and all of that are just so good. Just some more lore there about the experiments done on women, and the one that succeeded was Alcina Dimitrescu, our big tall vampire lady, who I know in a previous early part in the game, I mixed up and said that she was Daniela. No, Daniela, Cassandra, and Bella are the triplets, are the girls. They're not triplets, but you know what I mean. The 3 vampire daughters. Alcina was the big lady. Lady Dimitrescu. Ooh, what a waistline. I love the fact that there are zombies back in this game. It's amazing. And you know they're real zombies because sometimes they come up out of the ground. And it's fabulous. Even though they, you know, they have weapons, they're not as completely shambling and useless. That's what I'd say. Not useless. Zombies were never useless in Resident Evil, but you know, they were very easy enough to dodge and stuff in the older games. But you know, times change and we get more modern with things. Coming up not too far from the end of this part. Ethan, as we try to work out the way to get back to a save point and get from out of this region. Or you don't know how happy I was when I realised that I had circled back around to that little mausoleum that I tried to open earlier on and couldn't, and I had predicted this will be something I come back out of, and there he is. I did. It all connects. It's a giant circle, the circle of life, such as when you kill chickens to put inside of your belly. Back to the church. Use the well wheel. I didn't do nearly enough of these wells in this run through of the game because I remembered quite late on that, or realised quite late on that was what the well wheels were. You get a lot of treasure for them, and presumably a few more areas with puzzles in that you can climb down. Maybe, fingers crossed. The show must go on. Goats! Finally, Lucy realised that there were goats in the area. Got very excited about it, pulled out her sniper rifle. Headshot. That is how we hunt. That's the modern day hunter. Sniper rifle to the dome. That's how we do it. It was some meat. Some good old meat. He just descended just into meat. Look, just a big slab of meat on the floor. Gorgeous. Beautiful. There's another well in the village that I had previously missed. Wooden animal head, which unfortunately I'd sold the body for. I didn't quite realise how many pieces of treasure there were in this game that you could keep and connect with other things. Again, a thing from Resident Evil 4, which I'm sure we will see in the Resident Evil 4 remake. That is definitely one thing in future playthroughs of this game that I will be paying much more attention to get the most money possible, so I can upgrade all of the weapons, unlock the infinite ammo things that you can get by spending money on your weapons, which is great. I love that. Yeah, get as much money as possible. Do more hunting as well, and try and get as much of the hunting things done, because I didn't do them as many in this playthrough as well. Try and upgrade all the unlockable things to make Ethan's character stronger.
This is Lord Moreau's? I suppose it's what they call the beauty of the grotesque.
Oh, just grotesque. Nom nom nom. Yes.
Gathered all the ingredients. Now.
I love the little idea of them sitting there cooking something up and Ethan sitting down and having a lovely meal. Great. Duke is a great character.
As well. I wouldn't mind having that again.
Different enough from the merchant that he's his own character, but enough that when they do the merchant in Resident Evil Remake. Fingers crossed they will do him justice and give him more personality. Maybe a little bit more backstory. We can actually learn who the merchant was and what he was. I really didn't get that many recipes either. I didn't make the most, I think, of what was available to me in this playthrough. In terms of crafting, spent a lot of crafting resources on stuff like bullets, which hopefully in subsequent playthroughs, when you start unlocking things like infinite ammo for your weapons, which you do by doing exactly what I was doing on the screen here and fully upgrading a weapon. I love that. As I just said, I love the fact that you can unlock infinite ammo. Spoiler, if you don't know, you can unlock infinite ammo for weapons, but the only way you unlock them is if you have fully upgraded the weapon in the game. So you need to invest in a certain weapon in order to get the bonuses and the sort of reward content for that thing. Really like that.
These hands are more dexterous than one might think.
So it's again a way that encourages replay, and doing replays slightly different, because then you can focus on the other parts, the other things like if you have infinite handgun ammo, you don't have to craft as much handgun ammo, then you can spend the points on upgrading your shotgun, so the next time through you've got infinite shotgun, and then you can focus on maybe getting your infinite magnum and that sort of thing. Really like all of that. I think it's really good. Just one of the ways that Resident Evil becomes replayable all over again. But that was it for this part. So I am going to inhabit Gameplay Lucy and say thank you, as always, for watching. I will see you in the next part of Resident Evil Village. Take care of yourselves and all of your loved ones. And most importantly, stay safe. See you soon.